Washington, D.C. on January 6th, and I was, like every American, practicing my First Amendment right.
A candidate running for Palm Beach County School Board seen pictured at the Capitol on the day of the riots. Why some are saying that makes her unfit to lead our schools.
More guns means there will be more death, there will be more violence.
A local high school student with ties to a Parkland school shooting victim pushing for change this morning. The letter he just wrote to the governor, hoping to have his voice heard.
Humiliation, disbelief, anger.
The former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores speaking out about the lawsuit he filed against the NFL and his former team. Plus, Dolphins owner Stephen Ross defending himself for the first time against the damning allegations he paid Flores to lose.
You're watching CBS 12 News This Morning.
Hey, happy Friday Eve, everybody. I'm Matt Lincoln.
I'm Ashley Glass. Florida's back. We were all bundled up just a couple of days ago. Now we're back to shorts, Lauren.
Yes.
Florida. It's
Nice.
so Florida.
We're trading the weather to those up north, and we get our warmth back. A look at radar right now. A few showers are coming on shore this morning. Winds out of the southeast bringing that moisture across parts of the area. This extends from West Palm northwest right along the beeline out near the acreage. Some of that rain was near Jupiter Farms, kind of raining itself out a little bit there. And then a little rain as well coming on shore right along the coastline, essentially near US 1 down into Lake Worth Beach. Not looking too bad across the area this morning, but it is very windy. Winds are sustained at 17 miles per hour in West Palm Beach right now. We will see these winds sustained near that 15 mile per hour mark throughout the rest of our day. Nice and breezy out there for us. We're going to talk about when a front moves in. That's still ahead. Matt, Ashley.
All right, let's take a live look. St. Louis, just one of dozens of states facing dangerous winter system. Look at that, just white out.
The arch
cold there.
is in there somewhere.
Triggering weather alerts for more than 130 million people. Now, these alerts stretch more than 2,000 miles from New Mexico to Maine.
Yeah, the storm is already bringing some travel chaos and flight cancellations across the country, including here in South Florida. We got team coverage for you this morning. Zach is tracking all the air travel impacts for us.
All right, we'll get to Zach, but first we start with Sam at the live desk with new video of the damage we're already seeing, Sam, from this winter blast.
Yeah, Matt and Ashley, it is wreaking havoc already this morning. The winter storm moving across the country with a mix of heavy snow, freezing rain, ice, and brutally cold temperatures. And it is making the roads a dangerous place to be. Take a look here. A driver in Illinois had to be rescued from their truck after it landed on its side in a creek. Firefighters even having to put on ice rescue suits just to enter the freezing water. And it was a scary scene along this Kansas road where dash cam video caught a car spinning out of control. In Missouri, several interstates were blocked because of jackknifed semi-trucks, while buses and cars across dozens of states were seen struggling. As snow piled up so quickly in some areas, cars just stopped in their tracks. And this morning there is heightened concern in Texas, where nearly 250 people died after an ice storm crippled the state's power grid last year. Officials there now say they have been preparing for days.
After last year, I think us all Texans are kind of scared.
No one can guarantee that there won't be a, quote, load shed event. But what we will work and strive to achieve, and what we're prepared to achieve, is that the power is going to stay on across the entire state.
And the National Weather Service says the snow and rain should move off the East Coast by Friday evening. In the meantime, I want you to take a look here at this map from the National Weather Service. It is pretty wild. Just to give you an idea of how wide of an impact this winter storm will have, you can drive in a relatively straight line from Texas all the way to Maine and never be out of a winter storm warning. Ashley.
All right, let's take a live look. Palm Beach International Airport. No winter weather here, of course. We're waking up to temps in the 60s, but there are flights being impacted by this winter blast. Let's go back to Zach. You've been monitoring the flight board. Zach, what are you seeing?
Delays, cancellations. It doesn't matter whether you are directly impacted or indirectly impacted. Everybody is starting to see these numbers tick up. Over 3,700 flights canceled nationally. A big slew of them out of the DFW Metroplex. Dallas-Fort Worth, 762 canceled flights at this hour. Just check PBIA, we're up to 7 canceled flights, and a lot of those to airports that are directly being impacted from this winter storm. Let's take a closer look. Dallas starting to transition now out of that freezing rain into all snow. It's going to take some time. DFW Airport not open yet. But when they do, I expect those numbers to really shoot up in the delay cancellation mark. Here's the reason why. Yesterday, a large upper level low dive diving, I should say, into the Four Corners region, forcing a big dip in the jet. This sent a lot of moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico out ahead of it, and that jet stream dividing the colder air from the warmer air. That is bringing snow, rain, freezing rain, sleet, everything but the kitchen sink from Texas to Maine, from border to border. And that is what we will be watching for today. Even the threat of severe weather from Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama. Guys, it is not the day to travel if you are hitting the airport. Even here in Florida, check with your carriers because, yes, even we have cancellations from this system.
And the poor people in the Northeast still dealing with the last weekend. Here they go, getting some more bad weather. All right, 6:05, former Dolphins head coach Brian Flores speaking publicly about the humiliation and the hurt that he suffered at the hands of NFL owners, leading him to sue the league and 3 teams, including the Dolphins. Flores claims he was the victim of racist hiring practices, and also the Dolphins owner Stephen Ross offered him $100,000 per loss back in 2019 in hopes that the team would get a better draft pick. Flores first spoke on CBS Morning saying his decision to refuse that offer led him to getting fired.
This game, changed my life. So to attack the integrity of the game, that's what I felt was happening in that instance, and I wouldn't stand for it.
And that was Dolphins owner Stephen Ross?
Yes. So.
And you think it hurt your career?
I think it hurt my standing within the organization, and ultimately was the reason why I was let go.
And now this morning, we are hearing from Stephen Ross for the first time about the allegations. In a statement, he said in part, quote, "I take great personal exception to these malicious attacks, and the truth must be known. His allegations are false, malicious, and defamatory." Ross says he will cooperate in the investigation and defend himself and the team. If the NFL is able to prove Flores' allegations, Ross could face a hefty fine, a possible suspension. The NFL has stripped teams of draft picks for past violations. The league, though, has not forced an owner to sell his team during Roger Goodell's term as commissioner. And we are following this every second of the way. This is a big story that is not going away. Remember, you can always find the latest online on CBS12.com, our Facebook page, or our CBS 12 News app.
6:07 is the time right now. This morning, some Palm Beach County parents are voicing their concerns about a school board candidate. It's all centered around some photos that are just surfacing. We want to show them to you here, a picture that's causing a lot of controversy. This is Angelique Contreras you're seeing here, wearing a Patriot hat, as you see here. This photo snapped on the day of the January 6th protest outside the Capitol in D.C. last year. She's the same person who stood against the board's decision last year to require masks in school, voicing her support of parental choice. Our Madeline Montgomery live outside a school district headquarters right now this morning. CBS 12 News Maddie just spoke with this school board candidate one-on-one where she defends herself for what's seen in that photo. What is she saying?
Angelique Contreras says that being at the Capitol on January 6th of 2021 has nothing to do with what her policies will be if she is elected to the school board. She says she was there expressing her First Amendment rights, and she thinks that there's nothing wrong with doing that. She doesn't even feel like she was being politically motivated in that, and she says that she has every right to peacefully assemble and that she was just simply standing up for election integrity. The school board hopeful also claims that she did not participate in any violence that took place at the Capitol. Instead, she says she was already on the way home before chaos started. CBS 12 News asked Contreras if she condemns the violence that happened on January 6th.
Yeah, absolutely. I do condemn any and all violence. And just because one bad apple was there does not mean it should outweigh to all of the Americans that stood proudly.
The mother of 3 says she's qualified to run for the school board and political preferences should be left out of school policies. In fact, she doesn't see being at the Capitol as a political statement at all. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, I'll show you what platforms exactly Angelique Contreras is running on and why you may recognize that name from previous CBS 12 News coverage. Reporting live in West Palm Beach, I'm Madeline Montgomery, CBS 12 News.
We need to point out here that we did reach out to her opponent, Erica Whitfield. In a statement, she says this: "While I support everyone's right to peacefully protest, my opponent's actions show a lack of judgment and poor decision making." She goes on to say, as a board member, we have to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We need board members who lead with transparency, integrity, and accountability.
6:09 now, and this month marks 4 years since 17 people lost their lives in the Parkland shooting. And one local high school student whose cousin was killed in that shooting is speaking out against the state's new open carry bill. The bill would make it legal to openly carry guns in public in the state without a license or a permit. People could wear their guns on their waists, around their shoulders, or anywhere else they're visible. In a letter to the governor, Samuel Schwartz says this bill will put more guns on our streets and in the hands of potential killers. I want to read a bit of that note here. Try imagining the lifetime of heartbreak and unbearable agony that gun violence causes, and perhaps you will not be cavalier about risking more gun deaths of innocent citizens in our state. The prevalence of guns will not only put the general public at greater risk, but also your own family. All of our lives are in your hands. Schwartz hopes this letter will resonate with the governor.
If he does read, I hope he'll take into account what I said, because I have firsthand experience on what this can do to families.
And we reached out to the governor's office, and they sent us this statement. Quote, the governor's office is aware of legislative proposals, and like all legislation, we will be monitoring as it moves through the process in the coming weeks.
And meantime, sentencing phase, the trial for Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz has been pushed back until the first week of April. Jury selection for the trial was set to begin later this month, but a judge says prosecutors need more time to prepare. Cruz pleaded guilty last year to 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted murder. Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty, and the trial is expected to last 2 months.
6:11 now, and this morning, Florida's abortion ban bill passed its first Senate committee. The bill would prohibit abortions after 15 weeks. It includes exceptions for health of the mother and fetuses that have fatal abnormalities. But the Senate rejected exemptions now for race, incest, and trafficking. Republicans representing the bill are defending their push to have this bill signed into law.
I believe strongly that life begins at conception. I believe strongly that these are babies in women's wombs, and I want to protect them.
The bill is one of the most controversial in the session, which Democrats are going to have a very hard time striking down.
I believe that this bill is yet another affront to trample a woman's freedoms and right to limiting safe and legal reproductive care.
Right now, the current state law prohibits a procedure after 24 weeks. The Senate bill, as well as its House companion, both need to clear one more committee before they can be considered by the full chambers.
Morning, everybody. I'm Mike Magnoli. Coming up, the investigation into the Surfside condo collapse has lawmakers and all of us in Florida thinking about the safety and structural integrity of our buildings. There are new developments in the search for the cause of that accident and concerns of repeat tragedies.
All right, Mike, we look forward to that special report. And then how many of our troops were just sent to Eastern Europe? We have the latest on the rising tensions between Russia and Ukraine, and more on how the U.S. is responding in 4 minutes.